This is News 6 Tonight.
I can't grasp it. I can't grasp the selfishness of you, the deplorability of your actions. You're depraved. You're weak. You're a coward. You're a sneak thief. You crept into a family and took advantage and exploited them when they were weak.
Those are powerful words, and for a reason. That is the father, the biological father of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. His name is Tyler Wallace, and he got a chance today in court to face the man who pled no contest to killing his little girl and also pled guilty to 20 sex abuse crimes. The guy we're talking about is Stephen Stearns, of course, and Madeline Soto's story is a story that has just crushed the Central Florida community because we thought she was simply a missing 13-year-old when she didn't show up for middle school. Turns out she had been sexually abused by her mom's boyfriend for years and was then...
And then he killed her.
And then he killed her. And the thing, welcome to News 6 Tonight, everyone. I'm Ginger Gadsden. So glad you're here with us. And
Not
it's
an
a heavy
easy way
night
to break into the show,
it's a
but
heavy
that is
night
the
with a lot
kind of day
news.
it has been here in Central Florida. And you were in the courtroom today as this guy. We knew he was changing his plea. His plea was not guilty, so we knew the only thing he could be changing it to was guilty.
Or no contest.
Or no contest, which is
that's another
a big
bone
deal.
of contention.
So I'm curious as to the reaction in the courtroom today. For a few reasons, because I know you were in there. He pled guilty to a bunch of counts of sexual abuse.
Crimes,
they disregarded a lot of the child porn stuff. I think the family just didn't want to deal with that or think about, having to deal with that being in the public record maybe. And then when it came to the premeditated murder, he pled no contest.
And I sat in the last room of the courtroom, the last row of the courtroom, because I wanted to see reaction. And if you sit up front, you can't see, everybody's behind you. Right. So I intentionally sat in the back row so I could see what people's reaction would be. And I could probably have sat up front and know what they were thinking or feeling because there was an audible groan. The kind of like,
when they said no contest.
When he said no contest, and it was one of those things where you could tell they were visibly upset because the courtroom had been very quiet all afternoon. But when it came to that, no contest, like essentially it's guilty, but you're really not saying you did it. You're just saying you didn't mean to do it. I don't know. And it was a hard thing to hear. And it was hard for the families because the courtroom was filled with a lot of Madeline Soto's family members, and including her dad, who does not live in this state, and a lot of cousins and people who were not related to her who said they were family friends, but she felt like family. And the thing they kept saying was she was just a bright light and was smart, independent, and was a popular child. I learned that she was a good swimmer. And I'm sad that I'm learning all of these things about this remarkable young child when she's no longer here to share her gift with all of us.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I heard over and over again in the courtroom when the family and relatives did their impact statement, when they said it to Stearns, it's like, you threw her away like she meant nothing. You discarded her body like it was trash. And that hit a lot of people, because when you think about it, you know, they spent days looking in another place because he had led them to the wrong place. He even helped with the search at one point, and we have video
you gotta
of that.
Have some real.
Yeah.
I mean, just to be anywhere involved in this, obviously this guy is not a normal human being.
No.
And when you say he pled no contest, he also spoke after the sentencing, and I think this is where a lot of us got very queasy, because it was strange
to hear from him.
Let's just listen to what he had to say after he was sentenced to life.
I've prayed to God countless times to trade places with her, to take me instead. And unfortunately, that's just not how he works. I have nothing but sorrow for her loss, and I miss her all the time. Her passing has torn me and my family apart as well, and she truly was a joy. I pray to God that she is in heaven and that he's taking good care of her. And I hope.
So I don't know about you, but when you hear him talk, like, I would trade places with her. I mean, you just admitted, you pleaded no contest to her murder. Like, what? You're not the victim in this case. Yeah. I think I'm curious. Did other people react in the courtroom the way I felt just watching it?
One, we're not supposed to have a reaction.
Yeah.
I of course did not have a physical reaction in the newsroom, but as I was born a person, not a journalist. Mm-hmm. And you have to feel some kind of way when you hear someone like that say something about an innocent child, and knowing some of the details in this case, that he pled no contest to, and in some cases guilty to the sex abuse parts of his case. It's gut-wrenching when you hear it. And the people in the courtroom had the same kind of reaction. I was, again, I said I was on the last row, and there was a police officer who was sitting maybe one person away from me. And I kept my eye on him for a reason. When he was speaking, when Stearns was speaking, that officer was leaning forward, listening, because it's hard to hear in the courtroom. And when he said some of the things he said, you could see his face just change, and his head just shaking, like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And I happened, when everything was over, I happened to leave at the same time, and we got in the same elevator. And I spoke to him. I said, I saw your reaction when Stearns was speaking about Maddie. I go, what do you think? And he's like, no accountability, no remorse.
Yeah, that is what it is. Yeah, I miss her. What?
You don't get to say that.
It was just unconscionable. I can't imagine. So our reaction as not even knowing her, the officer's reaction as well.
Yeah.
You also spoke to a cousin who was there.
Yeah, he also sat in the back row, and I was just talking to people who were sitting around me, trying to be quiet and not trying to be disruptive or anything. And I sat next to a woman. I said, "Why are you here?" She's like, I am a part of this community, and so was Maddie, and I just want justice for her. And then she left at some point, and so I'm sitting closer to this guy, and when he leaves, I go, hey, did you know her? And he's like, I'm her cousin. And I just asked him if he would speak to me in the hallway, and this is what he had to say.
All the pain she went through, it's disgusting. It's like, all the stuff that he did to her and all the pain she went through, it's just gross to hear those words coming out of his mouth. Like, he shouldn't be saying any of those. Like, that just makes more pain to the family hearing those words.
And then I asked him, I said, when Stearns said that he, missed her and that if he could switch places with her, he said that was just disgusting. To have to hear that, to have to sit in the court and have to listen to him say that. And he wishes that more could happen. He knows that he will get life and he will never see the light of day again. But he says this is a case where the death penalty was on the table and he wanted it to stay on the table.
Yeah. The other big thing people were talking about, not just who was there, who wasn't not there. Maddie Soto's mom did
Jennifer.
Not show up to court today. Look, cameras would have definitely been put in her face.
Of course.
Hard questions would have definitely been asked. But I think a lot of people are wondering why, if you're the mom of this murdered, tortured little girl who, you know, by a man you brought into the house, why aren't you there when all of this goes down?
Well, at least to speak on her behalf and to say what you did to my child was wrong. You broke our family. And to just say nothing, I think leaves people with a lot of questions about what is going on and why she didn't speak and why she has not said a whole lot throughout this case, except for the interview with the police officers while Maddie was missing and then later found dead.
Yeah, and those interviews were pretty disturbing.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's one of those days where it is, I love what I do for a living. This is a day I did not love it because you have to hear all those things. But imagine what we would have had to sit through if this trial had moved forward, because it was supposed to start Tuesday if this plea deal did not happen. Yeah. And I think what everyone said was that dad did not want, and family members did not want to have to sit through testimony of what Maddie went through.
Right.
Because they would have to go through graphic testimony.
And the evidence of the
There's
cell
a lot
phone
of it.
and video.
Yeah.
My God,
Yeah.
I don't know what those folks would have been exposed to.
So,
but I think they're all thankful to be at least done with.
Hopefully this is some closure for now, and hopefully that gets a little justice for Maddie. Of course, nothing will bring her back, but at least we now know the person who did this to her can't harm someone else.
It had to be tough in that courtroom. Thanks for your great coverage today. Another story that is getting a lot of traffic online is a traffic stop that has gone viral. It's caused quite a stir. This is in the Jacksonville area, but really everybody's talking it around the country and the world right now. It's got millions of views. So just want to set this up for you. We don't have all of the video of what happened leading up to this, but this man, he was 22 years old. His name's Will McNeil. He was pulled over for not having his lights on when it was raining, and then things...
No headlights, no taillights.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then things escalated into this.
Exit the vehicle now! Exit the vehicle! Show me your hands. Here.
Okay, so very difficult video to watch. Yeah. My apologies, but you've probably already seen it by now. And it's just something that we wanted to show you because, I mean, in the video, he's clearly not fighting. You can see his hands, but he was not going along with officers' commands either. He
didn't roll the window down.
Roll the window down. He was telling him, I want to see your superior. They said you were driving around without your lights on, and didn't look like it was raining in the background. But I think we came in a little late on this.
Sure,
because
yeah, that's why we say we don't have all the evidence.
Yes, and there were a bunch of officers already there. So those things tell me that the situation had changed, and maybe this was going on for a while before it escalated to this. But according to the report, again, he wouldn't comply, wouldn't give him license, wouldn't give him registration. And then that's when the one officer he was talking to off camera said, go for it. And then an officer breaks through the window, and then the punch in the face.
It's a sucker punch, basically, because it's like a profile, and then he gets hit. I'm stunned that his head didn't hit the steering wheel and he was out. But I think he was just shocked that that happened and it escalated that quickly. Now, to be fair, again, we don't know what happened before this stop. In particular happened. He was driving on a suspended license. I think that charge was dropped, and I think they may have found some stuff in his car.
Marijuana or paraphernalia or something.
Yeah, but it doesn't dismiss any of that. But also you have to know what these officers deal with day in and day out. Absolutely. They never know who they're encountering, who they're pulling over. And
the punch in the face after, once they pull him out of the car, then they slam him on the ground. He got a chipped tooth, he says, and a concussion.
Closed head trauma is how I heard that his attorney describe it.
Yeah. So now he's hired some legal counsel, and
I think Benjamin Crump is one of them.
He is one of the attorneys.
Yeah.
And so
but the Jacksonville branch of the NAACP, they spoke Monday about the viral video, and they really want an investigation launched into what really happened. And at some point, we will get to see the entire video.
There's a lot of body cams around there to watch, and I'm sure we'll see many of those. All right, we're going to take a quick break.
Boy, what a heavy first segment.
Yes, welcome to the show. Up next, we're going to talk about some super speeders. Florida has a new law So now we're hearing when people break that law and go over 100, and man,
there's a reason we have this law.
They are not on Daytona International Speedway. We'll check in with some of those stories coming up after the break.
Welcome back, everyone, to News 6 Tonight. We're happy you joined us. This next segment, because it took a lot of time in the first segment, we're going to speed through it. And by speed through it, I'm talking about
160? Is that how fast you're going to go?
Close to it. Okay.
Hey, Kevin Hawthorne from Lakeland.
Kevin from Lakeland. Florida has a new super speeder law. It went into effect July 1st, right? Mm-hmm. People are thinking, what in the world is a super speeder law? If you exceed the limit by 50 miles per hour, going over 100 miles an hour, you'd think, like, who goes over 100 miles an hour? Okay. Glad you asked.
How many people go over 100?
A woman in Orlando was going 113. She was on the 417, according to the arrest report. This was Saturday night at 11:37. She told deputies that she was trying to get to the place to pick up her dog.
It was midnight, right?
Close to midnight. I guess maybe the place closed at midnight, but going 113 on the 417. And then you might think, oh, wow, what an extreme.
What an aberration.
Yeah. Well, there's a 20-year-old. His name is Octavius Hunt. He is also, his car was taken under this law because he was going 155 miles per hour. This was on I-4. His car has been impounded for 30 days. So they don't just take you to jail. They take your car.
Take your car for a little while.
It's hard to speed on that bike.
The next time you do it, and he had 3 people in his car.
Yeah,
I bet you one of them was a girl. Because
he's
trying to impress her.
That's not impressive.
A dumb thing.
She's
never getting in your car again, friend.
No, neither are you, probably.
No, not at least for 30 days. The other thing we're talking about, you talked about this on Friday, shark attacks. So we got an update on this shark attack that happened, fourth one of the year, New Smyrna Beach.
An 18-year-old surf instructor.
Yeah, our community correspondent, Jaina Manohalal, checked in with him. She talked to this surf instructor, just a young guy out there, and gets his foot chomped on. Take a look.
I just feel like something clamp on the foot and just like yank me off, like almost like a cartoon.
The director of the Florida program for shark research tells me in an email that because of a high level of wave activity, high amounts of bait fish, and the wave activity attracting more surfers, when a wave hits, it actually makes it harder for the shark to tell if what they're biting into is a bait fish or a foot, making New Smyrna Beach shark bite capital of the world.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we hadn't seen the wound until that story
That
right
is
there.
gnarly looking.
It was pretty rough.
Because the way it was described on Friday, it's like, oh, just a little nibble.
Just a little nibble. That's what a
more than
nibble
a nibble.
is. Yeah, you don't want a nibble.
I don't want more than a nibble.
So choppy waters and a lot of bait fish, that's when you do not want to be hanging around on a surfboard.
Exactly.
Out there.
The shark bite capital of the world is New Smyrna, and he was the 4th victim this year.
Of the year.
But he says, don't be afraid to go in the water. You know, it's not the shark's fault.
You don't need a foot to surf. Let's head over to Jonathan Kagas, our meteorologist.
You don't need to.
I don't blame. I was at Wekiva Springs over the weekend, diving in the water there, and you know, you worry about the gators in those situations, but you have to be in some water these days, Jonathan.
Jonathan, you warned us. No,
I said yo.
That, right? Yo, you warned us Friday about how hot it was going to be over the weekend. I don't care how much you prepared. You can't get ready for that kind of heat. You can't be ready.
No, it's crazy. Whenever that heat advisory comes out, we talked about that. That's that level up. So it's like our normal Florida heat is what we'll get back into towards the end of this week. It'd actually be a little cooler tomorrow. We'll get into that. But man, I know it's like incineration instantly when you open up the door to take the trash out or something. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Wild this weekend, guys, for sure. I want to show you this map if I have it. This is tomorrow. Okay. So there's a lot of different colors on this map. For reference point, and it starts with that white indicating little all the way to the purple extreme. So the extreme stuff, the purple little blotches, are pushing back up to the panhandle and into parts of the deep south. Notice for us tomorrow, we're back in the minor to moderate in terms of the heat risk, and that is because the storm chances are going way up. We have this disturbance off of our coast. It's spinning there. It's going to send back some thunderstorms our way on the earlier side of the day. Coming up at 9:30, we're going to talk about how the storms are going to save us from the steaminess of the past 72 hours. Because holy cow, it was awful. I mean, like Ginger said, it's a step above of what we know and love here in Florida.
I was at the Springs over the weekend yesterday. I was in the shade with my feet in the 72-degree water. Dying of heat. It was so hot still. It was crazy. Yeah. I haven't seen much.
I came up with a trick to stay cool over the weekend. I would step outside for about 3 minutes or so, and even if your house is 80 degrees, it feels so much better.
Just coming in.
It feels great. It
even
feels
though my air
wonderful.
conditioner's broken.
Okay, here's a solution if you're really hot. I mean, Jonathan, we'll talk to you at 9:30.
Yeah,
thank you.
Jonathan, that was nice.
I'm trying to make this
we both
segue.
are dying to
I know we're
tease
dying
this
to do
story.
this story. There's a guy who, if you're hot at the beach, there's a solution, and we're not talking about just getting in the water. We'll tell you what he did to stay cool.
It's one way to tease. Hey, welcome back to News 6 Tonight. We are glad to have you with us. I want to start this next story by explaining to you that he only had one drink. That's what he told deputies. All right, my man, 69-year-old Rufus Qualls was seen drifting in New Smyrna Beach.
Drifting.
With no pants on. Now, we did just tell you about a shark attack happening at New Smyrna Beach, and I think worst case scenario here, he avoided that.
Yeah. Okay, so he was not wearing pants. Was he wearing a shirt? Like a rash guard?
All they said was he wasn't wearing pants, which is I don't know what's more awkward.
At the beach.
Maybe he had a really long shirt on. I don't know, but apparently he was drifting around with no pants on, and people noticed this. There were families on the beach, and they had
it's not
kids,
a nude beach.
Which if your kids are around, you're obviously. Yeah. So they called police. Police show up, and he's just basically like laying there in the surf, just pantsless, and
he's not bothering anybody apparently. But I feel like that's not a nude beach. We have nude beaches in Florida. We have nudist colonies, I guess you could call it, camps,
blocks. Yes,
where you can. It's a $4 billion industry. We've done stories on this. Yeah,
it's maybe bigger by now because the last time we interviewed, there's a whole like company, not company, but it's like an organization.
Yeah,
that
they're nudists.
Is all about nudists.
Is what we call them.
Yeah, they're big into it.
And there was a picture that we have. That's the guy who was actually arrested.
She's pointing, and I was on the screen. The guy on the corner. I wasn't arrested for this.
I mean, you had your feet in some water. I don't know.
I was not doing that in Wekiva Springs over the weekend.
Thank goodness. But I saw on a website that they had him in the back of the car, the police car, and I don't know if they sat him on a towel, which is the common courtesy thing to do when you do visit a nudist area.
You put a towel down.
You put a towel
down. How do you
know
this, Ginger?
Research.
That's how live in-person research.
No, my goodness, that would never happen.
So yes, so now he was arrested for indecent exposure, which is understandable. Keep your pants on at the beach.
And it's summertime, kids are out of school, and it was 1,000 degrees this weekend, and that's what people were doing. They were at the beach.
Look, get your own pool if you want to go out there.
I think the ocean was his pool.
I think it was. Hey, so we wanted to just do a quick explainer. If you're just joining us, we have a new little show here. We stream every night of the week.
Rain or shine.
9 p.m. Yeah, pants, no pants. We're here doing the show, and we're excited about it because this is just an opportunity for us. We work at a news station in Orlando, Channel 6, that we love, and we have all these amazing correspondents, and we have this whole team of reporters who
care deeply about this community.
And they put out this amazing work every day, so we get to use some of their stories and then talk about them in a way that might be a little more approachable for some folks than a newscast.
It's our dream come true. We get to pick the best stories of the day from all of our newscasts, and then do a little bit of a deeper dive and talk a little bit more. And I'm excited about what we're doing on Fridays now, where we invite a community correspondent to talk about their job in the community and how it has really changed their reporting.
Yeah, it's been, I've been having a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah.
And we're just excited. This is a show, we wanted to make one that you could listen to. You could kind of come in and out if you wanted. We wanted to put the stories on the screen for you so you knew exactly where you wanted to pick up or leave off, or just kind of wanted a little show to give you whatever you want.
Yeah, and we hope we're doing that. And we thank you if you're already tuning in. Please continue to join us. This is the beginning of our second week. We love it. There's Stella. Good evening, Matt and Ginger.
Feel free
She's
to
watching
comment.
from Charlotte. Yeah.
Engage. We love that.
We absolutely love that. I told her not to let her young daughter watch tonight because we had some heavy stories.
We did have some heavy ones tonight.
All right.
Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. We'll see you at 10 and 11.